What's up YouTube? Welcome to yet another tutorial video. In this video I'm going to be showing you how I color graded this particular image and how I got it from looking exactly how I shot it in camera to giving it kind of like a interesting, more cinematic, more appealing look, right? So just disclaimer, I use my presets in this particular image, and there's a link in the description below on how to get that if you want to get that. I also try to show you how to do it manually. I'll get as close as I can, but without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Okay, so we are here in Capture One, and as you can see, this is exactly how this image was shot. If I go to the reset button here, you see that there is completely grayed out. I haven't done any edits whatsoever, and the final image kind of looked like this. All right, so basically, I want to show you how we got from here to here in very short, simple steps. Okay, so the first thing I did was that I think this image was a bit too warm, so I just cooled it down a bit. But before I go there, I'll just quickly run through how this image was shot. I used the low fog machine here to create this fog you're seeing on the floor. The model struck this pose. I have these pillars in my studio as props. And guys, it's always good to get props. Just have props in your studio. They can elevate your images, right? So we had this really Greek looking Greek pillars props here in the studio. We had that and low fog, black backdrop. I used a C-stand, so I held my camera up on a C-stand and I was pointed down at her, and I was triggering it with my iPad. So I used an Nikon Z9 and a 24, I think it was a 14-24 lens, but I was shooting at 24, as you can see here, f4. For lighting, just one light, so that light is coming from this side here, and I love the way it's giving character to her face and lighting it, and not just like evenly lighting her face. Guys, when you want to light, I mean, get your shots where you light the face evenly, but by all means, get some dramatic shots, get some dramatic lighting. Don't just light the face evenly. You know, don't be afraid to try stuff that gives the face more character, more depth, things like that. So yeah, so that's how we arrived here. So let's just jump straight into editing. I'm going to crop, first of all, by pressing C to crop, and I'm just going to do 4:5 because that's what Instagram likes. So 4:5, and I'm just going to crop it down to where I like, and voila, so the crop is good. And the next thing we're going to do is to cool down the image. So you can see here we have it at 62,000 or 6,279 Kelvin. Let's just bring that down somewhere to like 5,000. So, yep, so 5,005. I don't know. There's no specific number. I'm just going to bring it down till I like what it looks like. So I like this, and if I press Y, you can see before and after. And already it's starting to take shape. All right. So in this image here, there is a preset. Let me find my preset. So if you come here and you go to custom styles, and this particular film preset is the preset that I used in creating this image. So there are two ways to apply this. I'm going to either just click it and apply it to the image layer, or I can right click and say apply it to new layer. So when you do that, what happens is that you can see that the film preset is here and then the image layer is here separately. So if I press Y, you can see before and after, and if I just, if I turn this on and off, you can see before and after of this as well. So I think that the film preset is a bit too much, so I'm just going to drop down the opacity a little bit. So from film here, I'll just bring this down to say 80% or maybe 70%. All right, so we have that, and I'll just press Y and you can see before and after. Now the next thing I'm going to do is going to be try to match her face here, which is catching most of the light, to her body here, which is not catching as much light. To do that, I need to select her body. So I'll create a new layer by clicking add here, and let's just say, let's dim this body. All right, now Capture One has some new amazing tools for selection. So in the brush tool, I'm going to come to this AI select here, and I'm just going to wait for that and hover over where I want to go. So as you can see now, it is going to be selecting many things, but I can just click and drag, and hopefully it selects just where I want. So just click and drag. So I'm going to make a new video entirely on how to use this tool. This tool is amazing, but it can be confusing sometimes. So I'm going to make a new video on just how to use this tool alone. Now I'm going to click my eraser tool and just try to erase it from the areas where I don't want it. So where it's touching her face here, it's just a little. Oh, it was actually good though. That's the shape of her face. So let's just do here. All right, so we're good. So by the way, you can press M to see your mask and M to hide your mask again. All right, so we can do anything we want to do to that place. I can increase exposure if I wanted to. Not so much. We don't want to looking unnatural, so still looking as natural as possible. I'm just going to increase shadows a bit, and I'm going to bring down the contrast. Yep, so that's what we have. So if you turn off body on and off, and you can see how that has fixed that. Now the only thing I'm having a problem with is the edges here. It doesn't seem too natural, so I am going to press E for eraser and reduce the flow and opacity of my brush. The reason I'm doing this is I just want it to have kind of like a feathered effect, right? So I don't want the effect to stop abruptly, just I want it to gradually taper off, if that makes sense. Yeah, so something like that. And yeah, that looks better, way better. Okay, so we have this. Now, the next thing I am going to do is I want to now work on her skin tone alone. So I will create a new layer and name this skin. Okay, and I'll go back to my AI brush and try to select her face again. Okay, good. It's selecting her hair as well, but I don't mind. And I'm going to go to skin tone and just click on the skin tone. Now, I love her skin tone. It's a bit on the green side, so usually skin tone usually tends towards either green or magenta most times, and I just want to play around with it. Let me push it to the magenta side a little bit. So this is me pushing it the other way. Oof, not bad. I think I prefer it that way, and I'm just going to bring down the saturation of our skin a little bit too. Yeah, so just like that, we have before and after. I don't know if you guys can see the difference, but to me there's a difference. Before, after. It's a tiny difference, right? But it matters. So let's do split view. So oh no, split view will show the whole thing, so that doesn't work. All right. Okay, so now that we're done with that, the next thing I want to do is, I don't like the color of these pillars, right? I want them to be more desaturated. So I am going to create a brand new layer here and name this pillars. Guys, always name your layers, but if I'm being honest, I only name my layers when I'm doing tutorial videos like this. When I'm editing on my own, I very, very rarely name them, which is not good. If you can't name your layers, guys. So we go to this AI mask again. Guys, just click on this. It's so fast. Like, it does an amazing job. Just click on the subject you want, and it's smart enough to know. Press M to see. And it has done a pretty decent job. I'm just going to make sure that it gets everything I want it to get. And yeah, voila, it's done. Okay. So now that we've selected that, we're going to desaturate just to take out all of that color. We don't want that color. So desaturate up to this point. And yep, I like what I see. Obviously, there are some areas in here because of the smoke that it didn't really get. So I'm going to go in with a normal brush. And yep, not too much opacity or flow, just to get those areas. Luckily for us, the smoke kind of doesn't matter if we get the smoke without brushing, because it's already the color we want it to be. So if it was another image or another scenario, we might have had to be more careful in these areas here, but we don't really have to do that. So just like that. Let's make sure that we get everywhere. Hold on. Like that. And then we're going to zoom in here as well. So here you have to be careful because you don't want to desaturate her skin. And like that, we have that. Okay. So we have gone from here to here. Wow, that's a huge change, an incredible difference. So I like what I'm seeing, and the next thing we're going to do is, before that, I'm just going to do something with keystones. So I'll go to image layer here and go to press K. Now K is for keystone. I'm going to right click and go to sliders, and we want to play around with this vertical slider, right? So the idea is that I can kind of like flip the image this way or that way. So I want her legs to feel like they are higher than they are, and her head to kind of tilt backwards a bit. So I'm just going to do this. And yeah, so I'm happy with that. Yep, so the image looks, the proportions look better this way. So what happened there was I don't think I shot exactly from the center. So that means that if I shot closer to her head, the head is going to feel like it's bigger. And if I shot closer to her legs, her leg will feel like it's bigger. Especially when you're in 24mm lens that has distortion. If I was shooting with a 50 or a 105, but then I don't have that kind of space in my studio, the roof is not that high to shoot with a 50 or a 105 and get full-length portrait like this. So you have to make do with what you have. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. We're just going to take this to Photoshop quickly and play around. We're not going to be doing frequency separation in this video. I'm just going to clean out these pillars. Oops, sorry. I'm just going to clean out the pillars, the markings, the joinings of the pillars here, and also this stand. So Command J to create a new layer. I'm just going to use patch tool. You can use anything. Clone stamp would work. Anything would work really. Just to remove that. And for the pillar itself, you know what? Let's just use a generative fill. So guys, are you guys using generative fill? Are you enjoying it? What do you guys think about generative fill? Is it too slow for you? Is it fast enough? Do you enjoy working with it? And yeah, so I've selected all those three joints, and I'm just going to click on generative fill, put a full stop, and press enter. You don't have to put the full stop. It's just habits. Sometimes just give the AI nothing to work with. Okay, so while that's going on, guys, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please subscribe. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Let's get that milestone. That's my next, that's the next place I want to get to, 10,000 subscribers. You know, it's just good to give yourselves little goals, and I really want to get 10,000 subscribers. So currently we're almost at 7,000. So yeah, share the video. Check now. You might not be subscribed, so just subscribe. Okay, have you subscribed? Okay. All right, so now I think this should be done in like a second.
A few moments later.
Okay, so finally we're back, and this is what generative fill did for us. I think it's okay. Yep, it's good. All right, so quickly, I was just noticed that in some of the areas of the smoke here where we desaturated earlier in Capture One, you can see that the smoke has a slightly different color to this. So to fix that, we're going to create a brand new empty layer, change the blend mode to color, press B for brush. Make sure you have a regular brush, and we're going to sample this color here, and then we're just going to paint over the smoke, right? But be careful not to paint into the pillars. That would just redo the effect of what we don't want. So that's how you fix that. So sample the smoke in this area so that it gets the color of the one in that area. Yeah, so like that. Beautiful. All right, so like that, we've cleaned out the image a little bit, and we have, yep, a nicer image. I think that's pretty much everything that I did. I think I did a bit of, you know, liquify to just correct the hair. I think I didn't like that this part was sticking out this much, so I used the warp tool to push out this side and push in that side. Okay. You can also use clone stamp. So if you want to do that with clone stamp, you can do that with clone stamp. Sorry, cancel. So before and after, that's much better. And that's how we did it. I think that I did another version on my iPad where I extended this pillar, and I think I even doubled it. You guys want to see how that was done? Okay, let's try. Now the thing with generative fill is that there's no guarantee that you get the exact same results every time. So let's just hope that we get good results. So I'm going to click generative fill. I'm just going to type in Greek pillar, because I want it to at least have something to work with, so it has an idea of what I'm trying to do. Hopefully it will see this pattern here where I didn't select, and it'll try and replicate that all the way down this way. Okay, so it has done something similar, which is not bad. Oof, that's a hand. Okay, I think this is the closest to what we want. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to select this area here, and I'm also going to select this area here. So these are the areas I don't like, and I'm just going to click generative fill. I don't put it any prompts, just push it in there, let it figure it out. So hopefully it does a good job, and bam. So that's exactly what we need. Now, using generative fill, whilst it does most of the work, your selection tells Adobe a lot about what you want to do, because it only changes the places you've selected. So use that wisely, and it uses references from the places you haven't selected to fill up the places you have selected. So think about what you're selecting and what you're leaving out. Now, another important thing about generative fill, a good way to use it is, I'm just going to select this whole pillar here. Right, I'm just going to select it like this, a rough selection. I'm just going to delete all this excess. So I'm going to press Command J, and then I'm just going to move it here. Now Command T, and then I'm going to rotate it a bit, and I'm just going to dump it here. Now obviously this doesn't work as is, but this is the joy and the power of generative fill. I am going to then just roughly select the outer parts that don't quite fit. Okay, and ask generative fill to blend it. So generative fill is going to take into account all of these areas that are outside here, and use that to blend in the pillar into this new place, right? So doing this in the past would have been extremely difficult, but it's so much easier to do now. I hope generative fill does me justice. But yeah, in a couple of seconds we'll see that it would blend it quite well, and it will look really good. Bam. So exactly, so now it looks like that pillar is there with the fog or the smoke, so it looks really good. I'm just going to flatten everything I've done, and I am going to, so right now the picture doesn't seem centered, our subject is not centered anymore, the picture isn't balanced. So I'm just going to extend the image a little bit in this direction so that our subject is more in the center. And we can do generative expand, or we can do content aware. I feel like sometimes generative expand is not the best choice in some certain scenarios. Content aware does a better job and is a lot faster. But since we're dwelling on generative fill now, let's just stick to it, and hopefully we get good results. And yeah, so bam, we have that. Okay, so we have two pillars and we have a smack in the middle. So I'm just going to press Command S to save and take us back to Capture One, where we can see our final image. All right, so I still feel like the skin tone is shouting at me, so I'm just going to bring it down a little bit. Select the skin tone and just bring down saturation a little bit. Yep. Okay, so this is much better. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how we went from this image right here to this image right here. So if you want to buy the presets I use, it's very cheap. It's about 35,000 naira, about 4-5 presets in there. They're really nice. I use them all the time. Just click the link in the bio, or no, not bio. Click the link in my description below. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment, and if you don't want to buy the preset, that's okay. I can try to give you or get you on your way onto how to color grade this similarly. So remember we reduced this a bit, and go to your color tab, go to shadow, and then just add the color you want in the shadows. So I think it's going to be like more like cyan or like a green, and the midtone is where our skin is, and you can add the warm tones to that. That kind of gets you on your way, but if you don't want to waste time, I mean, the preset is there for you to use. Yeah, kind of looks like it, I think. Not bad. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure you like and subscribe and share. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.